Revolutionary greetings, comrades. It's a Sunday, 9th July 2023. It's a red Sunday. Uh, we will not be long, just a brief for about 3 minutes or so. Let's talk about the ANC press briefing later on today at 2 p.m. I'm recording this video is shortly after 8:30 a.m. The African National Congress is holding its national executive meeting, committee meeting. It has issued a notice to media that it will be briefing the media on immigration later in the afternoon. As we said in previous videos, that the question of migration is topical issue not only in South Africa but globally. You remember we said that in the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels said that workers do not have a country. We see workers from other countries and the South African workers clashing in communities. But what causes this division amongst the workers? Capitalism, by its very nature, is built on exploitation of labor power. It exploits workers. Capitalists do not want to pay what we normally refer as a minimum wage. They want to exploit the workers for maximum profit. If workers in a particular country are organizing themselves against the capitalist system or against the employers for better working conditions, for better wages, the employers would employ migrant labor for the purposes of exploitation. And this is not new. It has been happening ever since. You will know that it was the apartheid capitalist state that recruited laborers from the different countries across our region to work in the mines and the farms. And most of these workers were never paid a minimum wage. They were exploited because the capitalists want to maximize their profit. So we have been saying that it is critical that we build the unity of the working class. And we can only achieve this when workers who are working in South Africa, irrespective of nationality, they are members of a trade union. But when workers of migrant origin are not members of a trade union movement, they find themselves at loggerheads with the local workers. So it will then appear that workers are divided because the workers in South Africa want to settle their own issues with their national bourgeoisie. But if then as they engaged in the struggle for workers or in the workers' struggle, then migrants are employed to provide cheap labor. It causes friction amongst the working class. Let's just briefly, as I conclude, quote what Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels said in the Communist Manifesto. It says, I quote, "Though not in substance, yet in form, the struggle of the proletariat with the bourgeoisie is at first a national struggle. The proletariat of each country must, of course, first of all, settle matters with its own bourgeoisie," close quote. So if South African workers belong to COSATU or other South African federations, and the migrants stay away from these unions, it defeats the struggle of the South African workers. It then creates conditions for migrant workers to be attacked. Now, the African National Congress is in alliance with the COSATU, a workers' federation. Now, if COSATU is losing membership, and it attributes this to the presence of cheap labor from different countries, it puts political pressure on the ANC government. And the ANC, which characterizes itself as a disciplined force of the left, will indeed react, as we have seen. They are addressing the media at 2 p.m. I said I'm recording this shortly after 8:30 a.m. The ANC is addressing the media at 2 p.m. on the question of migration. It is under pressure from its alliance partner, which is bleeding membership. First, of course, because of unemployment. Unemployment is rising in South Africa. Secondly, because of cheap labor from migrant workers. So the ANC is then forced to take a hard stance on the question of migration. We discussed its proposals or its resolutions at the ANC conference in December last year. There are amendments that are before Parliament. The first Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, whom we spoke about previously, had said that they are reviewing the Immigration Act. They want to overhaul the Immigration Act. And she went to an extent that they were a bit naive to say South Africa belongs to all who live in it. If we are to build unity amongst the workers who are working in South Africa, we need to ensure that every worker joins the struggle or joins the workers' struggle. And the only way to join the workers' struggle is to belong to a trade union and organize with other workers. But when you are on the sidelines, you are seen as an enemy by the local South African workers. But we'll discuss this in detail when we then discuss what the ANC would have briefed the media about. But it's critical. This is very critical. We cannot build the unity of the workers when workers themselves are divided, when workers themselves do not belong to trade unions. We will then, which we have done previous, but we'll revisit the push factors. Why are workers from other countries, particularly in Zimbabwe, leaving their own countries, flocking down to South Africa? Please share your views, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are on TikTok, please follow us.